Do you have any like favorite exercises for cleaning up your single stroke blast speed?
Yeah.
Adding grooves to it?
Well, yeah, you know where I'm going to go with this, right? Have you seen my exercises online? The cross-pattern single stroke ones?
I don't think so.
Well, like take your right hand and left foot and just play a single stroke between Work kind of like from that angle, left hand, right foot. And in order to make some sense of that and make it fun for yourself, use your other two limbs to play like time, just something simple. So you that's essentially a blast beat. And the right hand follows the bass drum, right? So if you can get those clean, right hand, right foot, something against it, left hand, left foot, something against it, right hand, left foot, same thing, left hand, right foot. So you got 4 combinations. That's a really good balance exercise because it evens out all of that weird stuff. I mean, most players, if you're not used to playing double bass, this is a human kickstand for most of us. You know what I mean? It's there to anchor the body to the ground, and it's really tough to lift that foot off the ground, even just to play. If you're not used to that feeling of relying on your core to be your balance point instead of that leg. How many guys I know I see playing drums and they're all, everything's resting on this leg. So that's another great exercise for trying to get away from that and putting the weight in your butt cheeks where it's supposed to be, when you're playing. But that's a great one. I love that. That's been the one that I've used for years and years and years. It's pretty much the only exercise I've ever really done, to be honest. Yep.
Do you only do alternate blasting, or are you more comfortable doing alternates or unison?
I don't really, I've never done unisons in anything I've recorded, really, between just straight traditional and like the bomb blast stuff and the double, I don't know, there's something about that whole... It sounds so much more brutal when there's a note in between.
You know what I mean? It gives a different feel, actually.
Oh, it's a different feel, yeah.
And a
Totally.
different sound, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a different thing.
just wondering,
I've just never done it myself. I've never really done the freehand stuff either. Actually, on In Cold Blood, there is a section that was by accident. And the very first song, Nocturnal Rulor, when it comes out of that fill and it's got that, and it sounds like a gravity blast, and it actually was.
Really?
And what had happened was, I came out of that roll, stick, gone. And you can hear it, if you listen real close, you can hear it hit the legs and stuff. It was my left hand, so out of natural reaction that section, what did I do? Well, I grabbed another stick. And it was such a good take of the song, we just left it there. It was so brutal, we went back and listened to it, I was like, holy crap, we captured that on tape, that's staying, dude. It was kind of by accident, but only time I've ever done anything like that. I just like that traditional feel, even from doing it from a single foot to a 2 foot feels different to me.
Yeah.
You can feel it, if something happens in the feel of it,
To it, really.
Yeah, and you push a little
pull
harder.
one side, really.
Yeah, well, I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think we all, and that's where that comes into play for me.
Yeah.
Just trying to make sense of all of that. It's so hard to make. How do you make that feel good? I mean, seriously, we're left with the challenge there. So for me, I saw Horacio Hernandez for the first time in Miami. It was the first time he ever did. He was literally playing with sticks. Like from a bush, sticks. He was right off the boat from Cuba, the first clinic he had ever done, and it was, it was right when cell phones became popular, and I just remember a sea of cell phones, but people were calling their buddies, dude, you got to hear this, he's up there, going nuts, and it was just unbelievable, and I thought to myself, hey, I do this single blast beat stuff, why not add a sound source? That's where that came from. So now I can play clave. While playing blast beats, or or whatever the guitar player is playing, you kind of isolate that, and you make it. Just kind of change it up. You put some type of pulse in it. Same thing with that. That type of stuff. And there would be times where I was confused about, with Hate Eternal, all we wanted to do was be as aggressive as possible. And for us, it was either blast beats or double bass. I mean, there wasn't hardly, I think we had 2 songs that had skank beats on them, like the Slayer beat. Everything else, it was either double bass or blast beats. And that was kind of like our whole theme. That's what we were doing. But I would get so torn up, about whether I should play or a blast beat, So I started thinking, okay, well, that's when the second snare came into place. Let's do both of those. Let's play the blast beat and then put the backbeat in there, which you hear me do a lot. And just to have that backbeat in there, it creates a whole different thing all of a sudden, And that was us all part of trying to come up with my own voice at the drums, and try to figure out, doing things that not really anybody else was doing at the time, just trying to capitalize on how I was going to become me, as opposed to just, going through the motions, So it's cool, it's a cool experiment in musicality for something that we really don't have a lot of control over. Yeah.
When you're doing triplets on the kick drum, are you doing doubles on like 1 foot when you're like alternating, or are you just doing both?
Oh, you mean like the Dennis Chambers thing?
Yeah. No, like the sugar beat, like in bleed, like.
Oh, the hurt of it. It's all singles for me. I don't alternate. Some guys, like Tom Slang, he alternates. And that's funny. That stuff's been around for a long time. I mean, Virgil and Dean Castronova, they were doing those beats forever. And now it's just like, it seems like everywhere I go, people, oh, you know that bleed, sugar thing, It's kind of cool. It's funny. But yeah, it's all, for me, I've just mostly focused on single strokes. And like I said, I'm trying to get this double stroke down thing, It's getting better, but it's still, but I like that natural feel of it, it doesn't sound like, you don't get all of that. You get that kind of rolly, rocky thing, which I like a lot. Go.
Can you do that one more time?
I think. I hope so. It's getting there.
Are you rocking your foot back and forth, or just like heel toe kind of?
It's kind of like a bastardized version of. It's not heel toe because I'm not getting that stroke. I feel both the strokes in the ball of my foot. You know what I mean? But my heels stay real low when doing that. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how that developed. I mean, like if I go to do it on an eliminator, I want to play completely heel up. And do like the Virgil thing. Where your heels kind of swing. But for that, it just seems easier, and there's not really a lot of effort into it, other than the top of your legs get really tired from, pushing into it. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't put thought into stuff. Again, sound. I was going, something about that sounded better than. It's a different thing. And I'm liking that, like I said, with the natural bass drum sound and all of that. I like the way that sounds. So, all right, what time we got? Are we getting close to? What do we?
20 minutes.
We'll go maybe another 15. Is that cool?